Good morning, everybody. Just getting started here. Give us a minute, and we'll be right with you. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is in the world you're coming to us from. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Striking, otherwise known as Tom in the real world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show called DYOR Live on the DYOR Media Network. Look at that new logo there with the cyberpunk theme. I just can't resist it. Can't resist it. I love it so much. Anyway, October 27th, 2025. It is week 5 in this long month of October. The way October fell this year, it had 31 days. Well, I caught you there. It always has 31 days. But it started in the middle of a week and is finishing this week. We had 5 good trading weeks here. Month is going according to plan. According to plan for Bitcoin. However, topic of today's show, gold falls. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Gold falls. Gold, you hear Pedro talk about gold a lot. This is where I normally introduce my co-host, Mr. Pedro Garcia, but Mr. Pedro Garcia is not here, ladies and gentlemen, so you have me for the first half of the show here. Anyway, gold. You'll see the chart here. The chart behind me is the gold chart. How often do you see the gold chart just drop like this, precipitously like that? Not often. Not often at all. I realize that many of you crypto hounds out there do not follow gold, but perhaps you followed Pax Gold on crypto. That mimics the price of gold, and you would have gotten quite wealthy had you invested in that recently. This big run up here is all during the trade talks here, and it had its nice blow off top. Pedro said, it can't keep going, and it's right, it didn't. It always has a correction. Gold, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Also, we'll be talking about Bitcoin. Why are we going to talk about Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin's pumping, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It's going according to plan. Look at this plan we put out on October 1st. Look at this. We said first week it's going to go up. The second week it's going to come down. Third week, we have here on the chart going up, but we said it would consolidate a little bit. Kind of poo-pooed out at us and went a little down at the end of the week. And then this past week, week 4, kind of did the consolidation we thought was going to happen in week 3. And then look what's happening in week 5. We called this almost 5 weeks ago. Said this is what's going to happen. Pedro said, going to go boom. And I just saw a major ex-influencer that had this candle going, pew. I really should have this in green instead of red, but it doesn't matter. Completely opposite of what Pedro and I were talking about. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. We're going to get right into Bitcoin first here today, but let's hit the wires here. Welcome everybody to the show. Welcome everyone. Please comment, like, share, follow, subscribe. Gotta have a call to action, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta have a call to action. And this call to action is called Just Do It. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Just do it. Why are we getting that twice there? Interesting. Let me switch over the music here. Where did the old music thing go? Let's load the old yeah. Get the word out for the show, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't watched us already, if you're new to the show, you'll notice that we ask you to share this with your trading groups. Why? Because we need you to. That's why. We like to get our show out to as many people as we can. And doing that helps Pedro and I out. Helps Pedro and I out a lot. So if you can get your friends in here in the show, we've got 3 days left in the month. We need 3 more unique chatters to make our goal. So if you can bring in 3 friends, we will appreciate it. Mikester out in California, wherever you are. Get one of your friends here to chat. One of your roommates, one of your trading group friends. Somebody help us out. Welcome to Crypto Unicorns in the house. See if we can get this show going here. Join us, everybody. We need you to join and participate. That's right. We're an interactive show, ladies and gentlemen. Crypto Unicorn says, yes, interactive. Well, I assume you mean yes there. You just left off part of the word. Anyway, let's get to it, ladies and gentlemen. See that there's about 8 of you watching right now. It's good for starting right on time here. Like I said, Pedro's running late today. Be with us in a little bit to bring over the market info for today, but let's start out. If I can get to the right screen here. Come on, computer. You can do it. You can do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here is the Bitcoin chart. The Bitcoin chart, if you recall, and I know many of you have, because I talked about this every day I've been on the air this month. Trying to train myself. As all of you know, I'm in a learning curve here with Bitcoin. And one of the areas identified by me, by Pedro, and also a master friend, was that I'm not good at the long-term lookout. I am doing okay looking at the minute-long charts, the 5-minute-long charts, and seeing trends and all that. But contrary to newbie belief, and contrary to logic, where you think, oh, the 1-minute chart builds up to the 5 builds to the 15 to the hour. So ultimately, the 1-minute chart controls everything. It's the other way around. The long-term trends actually drive the shorter time frames. If you can predict the long-term trends, you'll have a much more sane trading career and profitable. So I said, I need to practice that. Need to work on that. And I started doing that in August by sitting out at the beginning of the month, seeing what's going on with the month, and moving and grooving to that. And we did okay in August. We predicted the month fairly well on what it was going to do. Didn't do September, but we came up on October. Pedro and I took the first month. Admittingly, it was an easier month to predict what was going to happen, because when the very first week of the month pumps so hard, like it did here where this red candle is, it makes it easier, because if it's going to pump at the beginning of the month, it's likely as it gets later in the month, it's going to dump at some point. And it's going to follow a trend. And if it's going to dump at some point before that, it's got to pump a little bit too. So it's very easy to kind of back into the likely trend for the month. And it's almost followed it exactly. But I didn't have any money in this market this month. Made it a little easier to analyze and go with the learning curve, because I'm still having a little trouble fighting the emotions in trading. I get a little wrapped up into it still. And since I don't have any money in the market, I did in a demo account, if you recall, I found an old demo trade that I had opened way down here, and it moved up significantly. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is putting the skills to use, trying to predict the monthly market moves, and it helps out. Remember, we only need to get sort of close. We just need to get, predict the market, the month, more than 50% accurately. And this is like an 80% accurate chart. So kudos to Pedro, master friend and crew, for teaching me this. I appreciate it. And we're going to see if if the month is it. If you recall, in September we did the show The Hunt for Red September, because everyone thought it was going to dump OLA in September, and it didn't. It didn't, and then everyone said it's Pumptober, and I said, well, it didn't dump in September. That means somewhere in here we might have a dump, and that's why this arrow was stronger, because I thought at some point we'd have a big liquidity sell-off. Pedro's been talking about the 90s, under 100,000. A lot of people have been, and so I thought it might do that. But still, it's Pumptober, 5 weeks in the month. 5 weeks in the month. And so I thought this final week would be the big pump. And Pedro was on the fence for it a little bit, but in the past week or so, his technical signals and indicators came around and said, yeah, it's probably going to do that. Pedro chats here and says, hey, I'm in the waiting room. You can't see me. I don't know why I can't. Hold on, let me hit this refresh button here. All right, refresh. You've refreshed. You there, Pedro?
Can you hear me?
Ladies and gentlemen,
hey guys. How you
the
doing?
man in the box above me arrives.
I've been here. I finally was just like, I've been listening to you and just kind of and then I was like, I probably should jump in because I wanted to see what you would say.
Yeah, you didn't appear on any of the things that you normally do, and I didn't hear you either. So I must have just needed to refresh the studio page, and as soon as I did that, there you are, coming to you from the Cheyenne Indian Reservation in Wyoming.
You know, I was like, that really wasn't a nice thing that you said about me to your wife. I was just, you know, I hurt my feelings a little, but I'm okay. I'll get over it. It's amazing. Bad joke. I'm sorry. Bad joke.
That's what she said.
I will leave that one alone. It was a bad joke. So Tom's like, shoot, you heard that?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
It's all good. It's all good. No. It's real interesting what's actually happening right now in this market. I'm excited because the repo, well, it's the wrong word. I was expecting the market to jump up dramatically and just push this morning because of what is happening in the repo market, and there's just a huge liquidity. Basically, banks are not lending to each other, and that means that the Fed will most likely have to come in and do quantitative.
Got to print some money up.
Yeah, they're gonna have to print money up and funnel it into the banks, and so that they basically don't go belly up, and so with that, and I think the reason why we're actually seeing that is because I think we were watching banks really put money into assets, and so like I said last week or about 2 weeks ago, we talked about how my view on the market changed, and from a global standpoint, and how the U.S. dollar keeps depreciating, U.S. debt keeps skyrocketing. I mean, the fact that this weekend we went from 37 now to the crossover of 38 trillion was one of those moments. It's just like, it's crazy.
Show me the money.
Yeah, and I know it sounds hard because like everybody's expecting a crash, but it's not asset crash. It is a dollar crash, and I mean this from a standpoint of, as you're looking at the markets, want to see it like this, that each person, right, if your job, that's the wrong way, the best analogy I can really put it towards is the world as a complete financial system, US dollar as the sea, and assets as the land. You know, and as the dollar goes up, your assets, they're not going up or going down, but your assets are, because our boat is on the sea, if the US debt goes up, that means the US dollar is going to lose value. And so what happens is our boat goes down, which then makes our assets, this right here, appear to be going up, but it's not. It's stagnant, but it's all based off of what is happening with the C, which is the US dollar. So watching it go up and down, and the fact is that debt acts as a siphon in a sense to the value of the dollar. What we're talking about is the value of the dollar. And so as our boat, we're like, yay, our assets are going higher, yay. No. That's not what's happening. But it has that perception of it because it's all based off the US debt. And so once I was like, Lord, how do I make this simple? I was talking to a friend of mine who's a smart guy, but he likes things very simple. And so I literally had to like say, what about this? What about this idea? What about this idea? And he goes, no, it's too complicated. I don't like it. and then I was like, okay. And then I came up with the idea of the world, right? And then I looked at, all right, and imagine if the C was, and he's like, okay, that makes sense. And then I was like, okay, how do I say what where we're at? And I was like, well, he's like, well, why don't you say a boat? Because it's the sea. And I was like, yes, that is brilliant. And so, like, once I finally came up with that analogy, speaking with a friend of mine who is actually really smart, but he's very mechanically smart. You can give him anything and he can just fix it. Like it doesn't matter. Like sensors, he taught himself how to wire sensors, and like, you know, he became really good at soldering, and like he's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. But he likes looking at things very simply because it makes things easier for him to really fix things. And so I'm like, okay. So I knew once I sat down, we were talking, he just kind of helped me craft that, and it was really good. Anyways, was it good? Is that a good analogy?
Yeah, as they say, the rising tide lifts all boats, except the one filled with all the dollars not worth much money. You know. But it's interesting, though. It's Pedro. We talk about this a lot in somewhat of a doom and gloom concept. But just listening to another podcast, and people are like, yeah, you know, it kind of sucks. The U.S. dollar is suffering because of the debt in the U.S. They said, but the rest of the world sucks too.
Yeah.
And nobody. It's not like the U.S. sucks, and people are like, well, thank God I'm deep into Swedish kroners. You know, it's.
Speaking of sweet, the franc.
Nobody has done a good job. Everyone's printed money, too much money, borrowed too much money, spent too much money on either social programs or military, not collected enough taxes to meet spending. I'm not saying you need to raise taxes. I'm saying they haven't collected enough, and they've overspent. And there's no incentive for these countries, including ours, to not spend in debt. Like we always say, it's good to have the ability to go into debt. You need to do that for wars, for emergencies, for the weird pandemic thingies. You have to be able to do that, and you have to be able to utilize a good debt market because it creates a very stable economy. But not the way we're doing it, ladies and gentlemen. The whole world can the whole world just get together and just say, okay, we're all going to forgive our debt? Everyone just forgive it.
Because you can't. There's again, you need the absorption. You need something to absorb that debt. You can't just not. It's okay. Let me put it like this. This is a good way of putting it. All right. And I always talk about this because it's really important. This is actually how I started talking about it. Okay. So if that was to happen, imagine you have a big family, okay, and you have extended families, okay. So you have a patriarch, and in that extended family, right, you have grievances that have happened. Okay, real grievances. Somebody hurt somebody or whatever, right?
The Thanksgiving table talks got out of control.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And now it's really important to understand this. There was real offense that happened. And it has tainted the actual relationship between the whole entire family. Unless people come together and say, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, those offenses are not going to go away. They are not. That circle, that little empty space there that I'm holding up with my hands, I'm trying to explain, is an offense that's been hurt. That is a debt. And unless it is either absorbed by somebody else, it will remain there. It can't just sit there and say, you know, we're all going to forgive each other, because the fact is that my economy will literally drop from here to here if everybody forgives everything, and my people are going to get hurt as a nation. Right. And so do I sit there and say, hey, yeah, don't worry about that debt, we're going to forgive each other? No, that's not how it works. It's the same idea of an offense. That's why I use the Thanksgiving table. I'm going to use that Thanksgiving table, and somebody makes a comment about somebody's child, and then somebody else makes another comment about somebody else's child, and then somebody hits your child, and then somebody else hits the other child. It's that big. It's you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's a rough Thanksgiving table. Hey, Clark, pass the turkey.
It's his child. It's a real thing. It's not something that can just be okay, great, we forgive each other, and to do that, so that means something has to absorb that debt, and i.e. crypto potentially could absorb that debt if we see crypto go to a $200 billion, a $400 billion market cap, dare I say $3 trillion excuse me, I didn't mean billion, I meant trillion. 300 trillion, 400 trillion, and dare I say even a quadrillion-dollar market cap.
Ooh,
and so yeah, because here's the thing, it's got to absorb all the debts. It's got to, and I think the world has $4 trillion or $4 quadrillion in debt.
That's such a mind-blowing number. I mean, it's like we grew up in Zimbabwe. Hey, I'm gonna go down and get some bread. Oh, that's $1 trillion today. Okay, well, I got my wheelbarrow, or Weimar, Germany. Got my wheelbarrow money.
Yeah. Well, that's
anyway. Over on the side, Pedro, Bitcoin is reporting at $2.3 trillion itself right now in market cap, trading about in the average of when we go on the show the past 24 hours. Oh, sorry. We all of a sudden a big delay just popped up in our. Hello, check. Pedro, you there? Ooh, I don't know what happened there. Pedro's disappeared, ladies and gentlemen.
I just opened stuff on it, and so that's why
Pedro's computer is going slow. Oh yeah.
I
don't know what it's doing in the background, but it's totally stopped your audio processing there to load whatever that was. All right, I'm going to switch back to this screen here, ladies and gentlemen, until Pedro's computer catches up.
What about that? Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. That's better.
What about that? Is that better? Can you hear me now?
Oh, now I hear you twice.
Can you hear me now? Oh, there you are. Can you hear me now? Oh, there you are.
All right, ladies. I don't know what.
All right.
What strange dark web site from Germany you just loaded there, but it ate up all your resources. Speaking of Germany, I was just listening to the Steven Crowder show, and he wanted to. He was making fun of this viral video of this German talking about how awful America is, and he in this stat, and talking about the dollar depreciating, this stat came to mind. Pedro, just so you know, Pedro, I'm skipping the commercial break on the timer just because we don't have enough viewers for a commercial. The video's viral of this guy kind of half rapping about the U.S. not being a good, just fat people with no trains, and nobody's worried about climate change and all this type of stuff. Blah 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 blah. But what he pointed out, he pointed out, if it's so bad, why is our worst state's GDP per person and average wealth per person, the worst state in the United States? I shouldn't say the worst. I should just say the state with the most to gain. Is Mississippi. Mississippi is the generally considered the poorest state in the U.S. In a per capita GDP and income, and it's the same as Germany.
Give me a second. Let me jump in here real quick. I gotta address them. Hey, Egg Niba. Hey, bro.
No, you're online, Pedro. Here.
Yeah. I'm now here. Egg Niba on Rumble. Much love. Do we have open discussion for everything, but nothing like that, please? appreciate that. All right, go ahead.
What the?
Yeah, they can't. Like, just don't. Like, we don't need any of that. I don't want any of that around here. And it's best. Look, I'm always open for open discussion, right? Like, but it's got to be, because it's just the wrong. Here's the thing: perception is reality, and if somebody sees that, and all of a sudden, 3-4 years down the road, I got to deal with that. And let's say this show explodes, and then that happens. I got to, that could destroy things that me and Tom are trying to build. So, and
all right, I got it, Pedro. I'll do the moderation. Igniva, welcome to the show. Please, I'm going to put you on.
No, it's cool. You don't need to. I'm just saying, I just want to deal with the circumstance, and then if he progresses, we can. But I just first give him.
Hey, we're trying to have a family-friendly.
It's still funny, dude. He's still funny.
Come on, man. Smalls are killing me.
Sorry. Okay. All right. He's a jokester. Yeah, I get it now. All right.
I'm just gonna make it less obvious.
Yeah. Hey, at least you will have better moderation going forward. Fair. Good. Much love, man. Much love. Okay. Shout out to our people out over there. Let's do did we do the Bitcoin recap already or no?
No, go ahead and do your Bitcoin. I was talking about our monthly.
Yeah. Yeah.
How the monthly things going according to plan.
Yeah, awesome. Boom. I was looking at Monero this morning because I'm expecting Monero to really pop again in relationship to the people who hold money really just realize about Monero and really how dope it is. And so I think they're gonna really start buying a ton, but we'll see. Again, not financial.
Monero is sitting at $342 here. Market cap 6.3 billion. Big rise over the past week, Pedro. If you look at the weekly chart behind the number, I'm sure you're about to bring up your own chart. Yeah. But even in the past year, a year ago, it was sitting at 154. So we've seen a 2x. You did, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. We called at the bottom there because we sat there and I said, all right, guys, with the latest news in regards to, or what potential is coming up, I expected it to go skyrocketing. And I said, don't buy it yet. Can't wait for it to come back down for excellent. Where's my Monero, bro? It's X. What is it? X. Give me 1 sec. Sorry, guys. Monero. A, B, C, D.
So, suddenly our chat engagement rate is through the roof, ladies and gentlemen. Our show is growing like crazy. It's amazing. This is like Don Bongino and Steve Crowder combined.
Oh, you're killing me. All right, so we'll just. All right, here we go. This is where it was. So we talked about it here. We saw the explosion happen with the news coming out, and in this process, so we saw the news come out of them losing or not. So listen, we can. Why am I talking about this? Long story short, there was a bunch of news basically saying, "Hey, the lawsuit's going away." And then So we saw the shoot up, and then from there I actually jumped on the Breakfast Club. That's why I was a little late. I was on the Breakfast Club, and then it came down, and I said, don't buy it while it's up here. When it shot up to 250, I said, wait for it to come back down to that 170 160 ish area. Wait for it. You could potentially come down to the 150, but ultimately that's really the area. And we saw it come down, hit it again, and then from there it's just been skyrocketing. I think at the high was 420, and then came back down. But I said, here's another area you want to wait for a pull back into until we get it. So that was that 277 276. I think it came all the way down to 228, and now we're seeing a push back up. And again, I really expect it to keep continuing high. I think one day we even may see a 1,000, potentially, if not a 1,500 Monero. In all reality,
I wouldn't be surprised. One of the things I was listening to another discussion, Pedro, about the privacy coins and all that. Many of them have some sort of the word privacy in their name, like the Secret Foundation and the Secret Network. Man, there's two others on the top of my mind that I just heard talked about and I can't remember them. But Monero just has a regular nondescript name. It's just, hey, we're a blockchain. There's just not as much information available to users. I'm sorry, to analysts, chain analysts and stuff like that. It doesn't come right out and scream, hey, we're trying to hide something. And these other tokens, such as Secret Token and that type of stuff, just come out and say, when they rebranded, the Secret Foundation rebranded the whole thing and used the word secret, I'm like, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. They should just have a normal name, and one of their features is just, hey, the government and your employer can't look through your wallet and see how much money you have in this. People would have been like, woo, I love it. And everyone would use it. Instead, Secret Foundation was like, oh, all this stuff is secret, zero knowledge, all this stuff. They made it sound like you were scamming. They made it sound like, hey, we're doing something to hide. When we're not supposed to be hiding here. We're just supposed to be operating in crypto and having an option of not having to use the banks. And we would like the information not to be, hoovered up by big data and everybody's wallet doxed, and how much money you have is in a website for everyone to search. And so I like Monero just because it's cooking along with these privacy features and just a regular old name. I think you're right. I think you're going to see adoption come from it, especially get a couple of you get some basketball player or something like that be saying, hey, I use Monero, and all of a sudden the kids on the street will be jacking each other's Monero. Like, man, you got Monero? I need some ice, man. Ice? No, ice is over there in the Latina neighborhoods. No, man, I need ice. I need some rocks.
I don't think they call it ice anymore. That's more of like maybe.
I would have to say I am not in with the terms of the drug dealing world ever since Miami Vice went off the air, and that was in 1990.
That's epic. It's absolutely epic.
That's the last time I was up to date on the drug trade.
No, that's good. That's good. Other nefarious things, he understands. Warheads. No, it's bad. That's funny. That's actually really funny. But on the big side of crypto, we can actually parlay that into, let's see what crypto and what Bitcoin is doing here real quick. So at the beginning of the week, I always talk about us going up and down, right? And so we came up into our area here with BTC. I talked about these liquidity area. We hit our liquidity right here. We have the liquidity area right here, which is going to be that 16,130. We talked about it coming down and going up, and now we're hitting that. So again, we talked about the play here. When we hit it, we want to see a sell off, and then boom. So I actually was in a trade on this. I actually got into it around here last night. It's actually a friend of mine's Diwali festival, and then the market opened up, so I got in on the trade right here. And as we came down to the 8, and I put my stop around right here. My target was up here at the liquidity area, so I knew it was most likely going to come and tap this area here. And sure enough, came in, tapped it. I was actually asleep when it tapped this area. I just got to sleep. I was around here. I said, all right, it's gonna hit that. I'm gonna go to sleep. And so we hit that area, and then we came and sold off. And so I was waiting. I wanted to get both sides. I wanted to get this side and this side, right? But I was so tired. I was like falling asleep. And so I was like, I'm done. I can't stay up. So but once we hit that area right here, we saw the sell off. We saw it come down. I'm actually frustrated that I didn't get the top there, but it was very clear that they were looking to sell. We saw the big seller wick come in. We saw them close below the 8. We saw no demand wicks all the way down until we get down to this level here. So I know that it's most likely going to play off of that. And so I knew it was going to most likely, as it comes down to that area, I expect to see a big pump. Tom, I hate to do this. Take over for just 2 minutes, and then I got to do something here real quick. Forgive me.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I'll go right back into this.
Bitcoin trading at $115,000. Up, if you can see the chart right here. This is the daily chart. For the past past 5 days, we've had green days. Green day. Had a green day. You don't see that often. Usually you see at least one day in which it doesn't do anything or retraces. But Pedro also pointed out on his chart, he was on the 5-minute chart. This is the daily chart. Even here, there are not really any demand wicks. There's the seller wicks. I'd like to ask Pedro about this, what it means on the daily chart here. You see that this purple moving average here is the 8-period moving average. It's starting to follow that. In fact, it basically followed it all the way. Man, I can't do that in reverse. All the way down and then back up here. But there's no demand wicks here on these daily charts. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Let's go to the weekly chart and see if there's anything that we can find out about that. Nope, that's not the weekly chart. All right, so on the weekly chart here, last week, there you can't really see it that well, but there is a big demand wick on the weekly chart, and then on this week, very small, very small, very small. Let's go back to the daily chart. But you can see how this kind of followed our monthly plan. Up, down, up, down. So these two kind of reversed, but really thought this was going to dump this week. Didn't. But overall for the month, got it kind of right. Where's the daily chart? There we go. Anyway, I'm going to take this opportunity to read an ad here. Let's see who we got here for the ads. Who is Mark 37? Ooh. I like this one. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Pedro and I were just talking about privacy coins, Monero, secret coin, all this type of stuff. One of the things we like about those is that not everything is tracked. And in a world where every click and tap is tracked, every call and text cataloged, every swipe is sold, what if your phone finally worked for you, not against you? Meet the Ghost Phone from Mark37.com, the smartphone that disappears from big tech's radar. This isn't just a phone, it's your digital shield. Built on Graphene OS, open source hardened 100% Google free. No bloat, no backdoors, no data leaks. We take mint condition refurbished Google Pixel hardware, flagship power, zero e-waste guilt, starting at $425. You get the same great camera, battery, speed, and can simply swap your existing SIM, keep your number, and you're live on your terms. Here's what going ghost really means. Zero telemetry. Your location, habits, everything stays with you, not your apps. Clean app ecosystem, privacy-focused app stores, and the ability to quarantine apps to prevent spying. You have kill switches, flip off mic, camera, sensors, and rest assured, they're actually off. Simple migration, transfer contacts, text, photos, files in minutes. Users say, these are important, these testimonials, the constant surveillance, gone. I finally breathe easy, says Tyler T. Never going back to the walled garden again. Never, says Aaron W. Done with the ads, tracking, or control. The Ghost Phone puts you back in control of your data. Go to mark37.com. Your private life starts today. Ladies and gentlemen, over here on the side of the screen, I got a QR code here. If you're watching on your big screen TV, hold up your smartphone there and press it and go visit our advertisers. Not even asking for your money right now. They just want your eyeballs to go check out their products and see if it's something that would be good for you. If you're watching on your smartphone or tablet, in the chat here today, there's a link that says learn more. And if you're watching on the replay, ladies and gentlemen, first, thank you. Second, in the description below, there'll be a link to Mark 37. Reclaim your privacy, which with Mark 37's Ghost Phones. Says thank you to Mark37 for being a sponsor. DYOR Live. All right, Senor Pedro. Took that opportunity to get an ad in because our little bump in viewership, thanks to the wonderful comments by Egg Nibba.
Did he leave us? I don't want him to not. No, I didn't want him to leave. I just want him to be careful with some of the stuff because I don't.
We didn't make him leave. He made his point and he moved on.
All right, cool. Well, he can always come back. I just want to make sure he knows that. Just be careful. Just want to deal with the headache down the road in maybe 5 or 10 years. So, it's a real thing. So, I honestly think we saw the woke go cancel people. Well, you know where they received that and got that from? The right, because it was the right that would actually go through originally and cancel people. And so
nobody invented that. It's been going on forever. I'm sure.
Yeah, good point.
Back in the days of the Salem witch trials, that was going, oh my God.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just don't want to have to deal with that, down the road. So let's go ahead here real quick and look at a couple things here. Let me finish off what's happening with Bitcoin. So we basically hit this area right here on the 5-minute. And so one of the things I was looking at, and I think it's really important to pay attention to, is how far will we see it go back down. We see supply weeks coming in as it's pushing, which means typically that sellers are putting in positions to drop the market, even though the market is going up. Because remember, every sell needs a buy and every buy needs a seller, or every buyer needs a seller and every seller needs a buyer. If they're looking to drop the market, they're going to push the market up typically in the beginning of the week. Now, again, we're in a bull market. So with that said, if they do push it up, right, they'll bring it back down. And I think they're going to hit the 8-period moving average, as Tom was talking about earlier here. That 8-period will most likely act as support as we then continue to go up. So I would expect to see it potentially Sunday, Monday go up, maybe Tuesday, boom, and then come back down, tap that.
Today is Monday.
It's coming. I know. So yeah, today, or this was Sunday, right? This is Monday. Boom. Tuesday might go up a little bit more. Boom, and then tap back down, hit that 8-period, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, and then see it continue up to that next level of that 122 to 121 area here. And then potentially even go even much higher, just simply because I think we're going to see a big push. As a friend of mine I was talking to last night was literally saying that, he actually said the term what you call it? Yeah, Cryptober. He called it. Yeah, that's actually. Did you coin that yourself?
I did, but I found it in use elsewhere. You can find its usage on Google. I hadn't read it before. I just came up. I was talking about the hunt for red September when we talked about September possibly being a red month, which it wasn't. I was wrong about that. And then I said we're coming up to Pumptober, and then I was like, it could pump, could dump, but it's definitely Cryptober. Anyway, I got a question for you about the daily chart, Senor Pedro. If you pull up the daily chart for me here, I was just talking about this while you were off for a second there. The daily chart. I don't know why that doesn't look like mine. Hold on, let me bring up my chart real quick. Okay, well, I just had bad eyesight there for a minute, but on my chart, the demand wicks for the past couple days were not as visible. They were quite small. So I was like, there's not enough demand wicks. They're small, but they're still there. My chart, just the contrast was bad, and I thought a couple of days didn't have any at all. I was going to say, what does that signify? But
no, but I think you're hitting a point. I think it's an important point. He's absolutely right. That's why I think we're going to come back down, and so they'll typically will bring it back down, hit this area right here, and then see it go back up, right? Like this is where I said I think it may hit this area right here, which is the 8-period, and then push it back up, or it may come down and hit this. So this is one scenario right here, this one. And then the other scenario, pay attention, is this one right here, us coming down to this demand area right here where the 200-period moving average is sitting. we come retest that and then see it go back up. So it just depends on the circumstance and how hard it hits. Now, right now, we're actually dealing with some major issues. I think the reason why we're seeing this is we're seeing a liquidity drop with big banks not willing to lend to other big banks. And I think one of the reasons why is, one, it has to do with kind of some of the debt and also their own personal books. And so they would rather, if they're going to deploy money, I think they would want to deploy money into assets versus actually money being deployed into gaining overnight yield from other big banks. I think a lot of big banks are also a little afraid over that. So it's going to be really interesting. We're watching the Fed starting to scramble and starting to actually push quantitative easing again, where they're going to have to step in and add more to their balance sheet, making sure that the banks do not fall apart. So it's one of those things that I'm definitely looking at, paying attention to. So I think it's important to be looking at. And again, one of the guys you can follow, I always tell everybody, go check him out. Rob Snyder, I think it's Rob Snyder over at Eurodollar University on YouTube. He's got a few other things over there, but I really like his stuff. He kind of...
Isn't that the actor who says, "You can do it"? Rob Snyder?
Oh, man, bro. You are right. I don't know why I was thinking Rob Snyder. Is
he could have the same name, too.
I don't think it is, though. Give me a second. Oh, dude.
You can do it. What was that? The Water Boy? What, did he say that in the Water Boy? Is that what it was?
You can do it. Yeah, when he Rob Snyder, bro, is when Deuce Bigelow, man, was so funny, bro. It was like,
oh man, that
was the
Hey
best.
Seuss, where are you today? Today the only red thing on my TradeWave app here is Stellar. Stellar down 0.5 percentage point today. After a good week, and in the past 7 days, it's up. But anyway, yeah, Waterboy. When I first started watching the movie, I'm like, this is the dumbest movie I've ever watched in my life, and I laughed so hard at it. I mean, just the process of those guys making that movie, just making the movie, or just sitting around the table writing it. I say, I'm gonna play this half-retarded, slow special education guy who just wants to do the water for the team.
That's what it is.
Jeff
Snyder.
And everyone's going to make fun of me, but I'm going to be the hero for the whole thing. And just writing that. First of all, how do you come up with that in the first place? You know,
right?
It's like how do you, the first person that ate a lobster? How do you come up with that? Like, obviously it doesn't look good. You know, it's like this thing's going to eat me. Starving to death. And did they are like, we got no other content at all.
Pretty much it. We have no other food. You know, it's even it you know, I think potentially they had done a few other movies out there already. Remember Happy Gilmore, you know, was one of those ones that was definitely, I mean, it took off. It just skyrocketed. So it was one of those ones that I feel like the silliness of Happy Gilmore and the explosion of there, you know.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a few more viewers right now. Pedro and I are finishing up some regular crypto talk at the top of the hour. We'll bring you the show intro once again, and then the next half hour, Pedro and I. Pedro likes to talk about gold lately, so I thought we would talk about gold retracement here. So we'll do that in about 6 or 7 minutes. But until then, as always, we are an interactive show here. Not just meaning Pedro and I interacted with each other, but with comments from the crowd here. And I see there's a bunch of you watching on a couple of different platforms, so feel free to ask questions.
Absolutely. Please do. We always want that. I think one of the things I think it's really important to also understand is that, like, we have no problem with, like, discourse of you disagreeing with us, and I actually welcome that, because the fact is that you may have a good point that I'm like, you know, I didn't think about that. He makes a good point. Or I'll be like, you're an idiot, but I love you, and you can call me an idiot, and you can love me back, and it's all good, because I think that's what's missing in this world, of people actually being able to agreeably disagree with each other and still be friends and have a good beer after. So please tell me what your thoughts are, and if you want to call me a big fat idiot, I'm cool with it, but just as long as you don't get mad if I call you an idiot as well. That's all I ask. Yeah, baby, yeah. Okay, that's another movie I thought was, dude, the Austin Powers series, bro, absolutely amazing. Look at the circumference. Look at his head. I want my baby, big chili.
I got a tunnel poking out of me bigger than you.
Alright, my bad. Dude, it was, I can't even play anymore. Like, this is probably gonna get banned down the road here. Alrighty.
It's so awesome that I went through a lot. I was Austin Powers for Halloween, and it was the most epic costume. It was just, oh, you have, can I, what do you say? Oh, you have some coffee. Oh, it's a bit nutty. This coffee tastes like shit. It is shit.
It is.
She's a man, baby. Dude. She's a man.
Dude, you know what's so sad, I think, and it actually kind of breaks my heart when I think about this, is that half the movies that I grew up quoting, like Mighty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail, bro, that would have never been made. Like
no.
Like, and I just think, how many, what's up?
I love that movie. I love every second of that movie.
Yeah. When he's walking. And the thing is, I just think in this time period that we're living in right now, all the movies that should be being made all the movies that should be made can't be made because of the controversy behind it. And I think it should. And it's like, man, because I mean, if you look in the 70s, some of these movies that were, or in the 80s and the 90s, a lot of these movies were based and were making fun of current circumstances. Now we can't make fun of the current circumstances, which we can, or that we're in, literally because, why? The people won't come and watch it. I mean, the whole entire woke movement of literally don't buy anything right now.
Should we talk about Blazing Saddles?
Like, oh dear God. Anybody who's ever watched that, go. If you haven't watched it, you need to go watch it. It is.
I watched it with my son, and he looked at me like this,
mouth open, a gap. Like, dude, these kids. I don't think these kids can handle it this time.
Like, you can say that? They're like, no, not anymore.
No, not anymore. But dude, the things that used to be said was like off cuff. But then also you had real, like, people would know, okay, that guy's an idiot. All right, next, right? And that was, I think, there's a scripture in the Bible that says, you know what I'm saying? A person who does not talk much, who is a fool, may be considered wise if he keeps his mouth shut. And the problem is the fact that so many people are afraid to keep their mouth shut. We don't know who the fools are anymore, and that's what worries me. And so, anyhow, yeah, I would say I had a foster father who used to say, God looks over the fool and the orphan. And then he would point at me. I'd be like, which one am I? I'd always thought. And I just have come to the point of, I'm probably both. And I'm cool with it.
It's like the old adage in poker, if you're sitting at the table and don't know who the mark is, you're the mark.
You're the mark. Absolutely. All right. So let's talk a little bit about gold here. So I think one of the things that's really important to understand, again, I was talking about this earlier, at the start of the show, is that
you know what, Pedro, give me 1 second to feed the algorithm here. 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's top of the hour here on DYOR Live, here on the DYOR Media Network. Welcome to the second hour of our show. Once again, as always, my name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking here in the digital media world, and the man in the box next to me is my browser. There he is, Mr. Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. We do a 2-hour daily talk show about crypto, digital assets, digital finance, in the day trading markets and that type of stuff. And we've currently been dragging me along as I learn the skills, mad skills, to become a better day trader. Been working on that for a while, so I like to talk about that. And Pedro is the as many of our viewers call it, the Pedrodamus, the Nostradamus, predicting the markets here and telling us where he believes they will go, and teaching us the technical analysis of why he looks at a chart and tells them that information. But anyway, that's what we do on a daily basis here. And the second half hour of the show today, we were talking about the gold falling. Why gold absolutely tanked in gold terms, Pedro, right? I mean, you never see gold retrace 400 points. Have you ever seen gold retrace 400 points? It's $400?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, percentage is sure, like, a long time ago. But in the past, in the modern era, has it dropped 10% in a day or two? No.
No, yeah, absolutely not.
No, that's not gold.
Yeah.
Just steady gains. And so it took a dump back recently, but it really pumped up lately. And so I thought Pedro and I would talk about gold, why it pulled back, but why it also went up. And obviously, Pedro, this could lead to a really long economic talk. Let's confine this to the talk about the charts and what's going on with it there and what you see.
All right, excellent. So ultimately, looking at the charts and where it's coming back down to, we've talked about how the big push up, and we've literally been looking over the last few weeks that it's literally gone straight up. And so one of the things I'm expecting is potentially that 3687 area, especially with a decent wick area here. So I'm going to point this out. And also and again, I think the pullback is only an area so that we can actually build back up. Because again, this all is correlated with, as I keep saying, the US dollar. The US dollar is the US dollar and against the debt and what is happening. And that is what's really causing gold to skyrocket. And so it's important to understand the real reason. And until the reason leaves, I am bullish on, gold. So, and you can see here, but I do expect us to kind of come down below that 8 period moving average on the weekly. We should see a nice little bounce off of this though. So I'm going to point this out here real quick. We're going to, let's go ahead into a green area, but into the daily. Boom. Is that a monthly? Nope. No monthly. Okay. 3 month here. So it probably will shoot through that 8 period moving average on the weekly here, which is where we're sitting. So I would expect at least a bounce off of that. So be paying attention to that 39, 34 if you're in a day trade there. Make sure you have a zone, a demand zone at that level there. But I'm really expecting to see gold play coming back down to that 30, 36, 38 area here. So a nice little pullback, and then from there expected to consolidate. So kind of see something like this, and then consolidate, and then push back up again. Is what we'll most likely see. Or we may see this type of movement where we see a flash sell-off, right, and then come back down and go back up. I don't expect that, but if things start to go awry, and the world just starts to fall into craziness, this is where people pull out of anything and just go to cash. And if they go to cash, I think they're going to go into stable coins, at least wait and see. And
you can get better return in stable coins than cash in your mattress. Pedro, the volume over here in this weekly chart is very interesting. I had not pulled up the weekly chart to notice this. Increasing for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 green weeks in a row with essentially increasing volume every week in it. And it's seemingly higher than the average volume here. Obviously, trade talks, a lot of that. U.S. debt, a lot of that. And not only that, but a lot of it is the narrative is spinning up. If you go through, one of the gold websites, Kitco News and not ITC, whatever it is, the gold people. The narrative is that they're really pushing is that the dollar sucks. I shouldn't say false narrative. I'm just saying they're pushing that, saying, hey, the dollar sucks. They're going to be spending more. The debt's going up. The U.S. government doesn't have its act together, even sort of. Even though good things are coming out of the policies of the U.S. government, the opposition to the current administration is just like, literally like Mr. Trump said. He said, I could give everybody every service they ever wanted for free and put their taxes to zero, and they'd still tell me that I'm evil and it's wrong. And so that lack of cohesion in the government is causing the market to be like, no, we don't think this is a good plan, you guys. And as we've always seen, it doesn't matter what the narrative is, doesn't matter what people say, doesn't matter what the news sites are saying, this and that. People vote with their money first. And they can talk all they want. I follow this political candidate. I follow that political candidate. Blah, blah, blah. You're evil. No, you're evil. You're evil. But behind the scenes, they all do the same thing. They put their money where they believe it's going to suit them best. And people have been putting a lot of money in gold.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
Know who. It's important to know. We're literally seeing nations as well as a lot of the central banks and World Bank put their money in gold. And that's a telltale sign about the dollar and the U.S. debt. So it's really interesting because it used to be in USDT.
And there's not more gold. There's little bits of more gold every year. The mining and refining capability of gold is such a small amount compared to, I'm certainly no master on the gold market at all, but it's, when I learned that all the gold that's ever been mined fits in the space of about a typical American house, I was like, wait a minute. wait a minute here. That's not very much. And thus you see its relative worth. But they're not going to be getting out. If all these countries want to buy gold, who's selling it? I mean, is everyone getting their jewelry together and saying, ooh, look, I can sell this for $4,000 now? You know what? I mean, if countries want to increase their gold holdings by 20%, like the US, Switzerland, even, Russia's probably secretly selling gold on the black market, I would say. But where's this gold going to come from? Who's going to sell it to them?
Well, they're trying to accumulate as much as possible. I mean, China is one of those ones that they're setting up a whole entire gold system and a ledger, old-fashioned ledger, throughout South Asia and around the world where they can get their system set up. So, and they're not stopping. So it's really interesting to see the correlation here. Also, silver. Silver is another one that I thought was really interesting, that it's actually selling off more. We got up to that 53 area. Like we talked about it getting to all-time highs and then seeing the sell-off. Again, the sell-off will come in. You have liquidity. You have a lot of stops up here. It's going to come back down. But if I start to see, again, an accumulation of sellers starting to step in here, then I would expect to see sellers. This is really where they want to find a hold, right? Like they want to take off position. They want to take off position and then sell it off and buy it back in. So this is a good little area you can see here on the weekly chart for silver. Now, typically silver will kind of move before gold does. We saw it kind of start to sell off 3 weeks ago back in October when I was talking about it going up, and I expect it to come back down and then from there continue up. So this is one of these areas that I'm looking at for gold or for silver, which is where it's sitting at. The next level, honestly, for silver is going to be playing a couple of areas here. My real hope, honestly, is down at this level of that 36 area. We could see if we, dude, that dog scared me so much, bro. I don't know why, but I was like, all right. So you can see down here, like again, these are fanciful. I'm going to admit these are fanciful. I can hope, okay? If it does get back down to that $35 an area, then I'm going to be buying it. Down also at the level here, I'm going to remove that. And we're going to post this next one right here. So that's going to be this area down at Stop, buddy. That 42 to 41 area here. So I've got a little player, and the reason why I'm really picking these levels here is you have your 20 period moving average right there, which is going to be roughly where I think we'll see the monthly 8 period moving average shoot up into that 42. The area of that 35, like I said, it's potentially fanciful. I could see them just do a sell-off, right? Like one of those things where you just see them go. What's the word I want to use? Just a flash crash of just trying to take everybody's liquidity, and then they build there, and then we see it go back up. But that 42 area, that 42.71 to the 42.72, I think is a good area potentially where market could come back down to. Again, these are more of higher time frame SMAs that I would expect to see. But again, this is all based off of the current climate that we're in, that basically says that, hey, guess what? The market and the environment that we used to live under for the last 30 years kind of changing. I mean, that's in a nutshell. You know what's interesting though is the
What's
time that we are looking at is pretty cool. I mean, this is probably a good time for an ad, right?
Okay. Yes, Pedro Damas, you are correct.
Look at that, my people. Really?
All right, let's see. Which one should I go for here? Well, this seems to be a new one. Dr. Michael Carlfeld. Let's make sure it's not crazy. Oh, no, this is the... this is a good one. I like this one. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We are thankful to be sponsored by a whole bunch of people, various groups, but this one is this one's closer to home here. Nearly every family has been touched by cancer, and when it happens, the hardest thing isn't always the treatment. It's the overwhelm, it's the endless research, and the fear, of choosing wrong. There's a lot of information out there, ladies and gentlemen, and I've personally witnessed people go through the process of collating all that information into only negative energy. That's why the incredible Dr. Michael Carlfeld, one of the top integrative integrative cancer doctors in the country, is hosting the most powerful cancer educational event online, the Healing Blueprint Masterclass, a live half-day virtual event on November 6th. It's everything patients, survivors, and families wish they'd known sooner. How to understand the real causes of cancer, what alternative and conventional therapies work best together, and how to bring peace and focus to the chaos. Stop wasting precious time and money on trial and error. You'll even receive your own Healing Clarity Guidebook, where you'll create a personalized plan for your healing or your family member's healing or prevention journey. It's happening live on November 6th, and for half the price of a 1-hour session with Dr. K, you'll get 4 hours of live teaching. Go to tkcblueprint.com, that's tkcblueprint.com, and use the code BLUEPRINT for 50% off of your ticket. For 4 hours with Dr. K could save you more than months and bring back the hope you've been searching for. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a topic that affects so many people. So many people. Do your own research. Visit webinars like this and learn what else is out there. Many people, especially in countries where you have national health care, you don't get to have multiple opinions of what's going on with your body. Thankfully, in the US, you can get as many as you want. This is in different types, from direct medical advice to therapy, to knowledge, and to things like TKC Blueprint here and Dr. K teaching you what's out there. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on your big screen TV, over there's a QR code. Go hold your smartphone up to that and click it and go visit our advertisers. They appreciate it. It's not even asking for anything but your eyeballs right now. Let him convince you whether you want to take his class or not. If you're watching on your smartphone or tablet, in the chat section, there is a little link right there. It says learn more. And of course, if you're watching on the replay, in the description here, there'll be a link to tkcblueprint.com. And thank you to Dr. K for sponsoring this segment of DYOR Live.
You almost sound like you know him, in all honesty. The way you
That's how it's written.
Like, I mean, I know, but it literally, like, the way you're like, listen, I like him, and you should go check him out.
Dr. K. Dr. J, Dr. K. You can call me Ray. You can call me Johnson. Uh-oh. Pedro's got the... Pedro. I don't think he realizes dead mic. See if I can blink that to him to get his attention. Dead mic. He's like, his phone with a screen on it that I can send messages to is right there. Pedro's waiting for the stream to catch up, but his screen share died. His connection to the studio died. I'm gonna refresh. See if a refresh helps him out there. It did not. Oh where did Pedro go? The Lord took him away from me. He's in the audio jail. He's waiting on a jet plane. He's gone. All right, while Pedro's getting back to this, I'll just do the quick intro. Thanks everyone that's watching us today. We've got a pretty good crowd now watching us here on a couple of different platforms, from Twitch to X, Facebook, YouTube, and Rumble. Our home here is on the Rumble network. Chris, if you're watching us, we saw your wallet announcement. We obviously want to be part of that. But anyway, Pedro and I do a 2-hour, sometimes only hour and a half, sometimes 1 hour, daily crypto talk show. It's the end of the month right now, so we need 4 more hours of premium time. So you're going to see us. In fact, I'm probably going to send the rest of the show into premium to get a little bit of time here doing that. In fact, let's do that, Pedro, while we wait for you to do that. Thank you to everyone that's watching us on YouTube and Facebook. We're going to flip the show over into premium right now, so we can get some end of the month premium time. If you're not a member of Rumble Premium, right below here, there is a register link here. Go ahead and click that. If you use the code word studio, you can get $10 off the Rumble annual cost of $99. You can get it yours for $89. And that will allow you to watch all the extra stuff that not only the DYOR Media Network has, but also guys like Steve Crowder and crew and Timcast. All those guys do a premium content show also, in which they have a little bit different take on things, and they're able to address topics that they don't address not in their premium. It looks like Pedro's coming back here. So, ladies and gentlemen, join us on the other side in Rumble Premium. You will like it, trust me.